see. Wish I wasn't hung up on somebody like you. Heard you found some new friends and you gotta move on. Didn't think that you'd change and I've been going on. I remember who you were back when you were mine. I keep running through the night. Last time you looked me in the eye, you said that everything was fine. I'm still patching up my heart, still driving out to where we
Give me reasons to smile, give me reasons to shine, when everything around me collides. I wanna know the reason why, wanna know why you had to leave me behind, wanna know the reason why. Oh yeah. Broken wings, you made me crashing down so rapidly. I never fell in love so easily, and I still can't get you out of my mind. So easily, and I still can't get you out of my mind. I still can't get you out of my mind. time to remember how it feels to fly, to spread our wings and forget the time. Are you better off without me by your side? I wanna know the reason why. Wanna know why you had to leave me behind. Wanna know the reason why. You wanna fix my broken wings, want me to let you in again. Even if you begged on your knees, I'd still want you and me to end. Broken wings, you made me crashing down so rapidly. I never fell in love so easily, and I still can't get you out of my mind. Still can't get you out of my mind.
Hello. How is everybody? Thank you for resubscribing. Thank you. Thank you for all the support you're giving vets and sharing their stories. Listen, I get to share my story all the fucking time on this page. to be fair. So, I definitely want to share other stories besides mine. Especially because I feel like mine is very boring, to be fair. I pulled a muscle in my leg when I woke up. I feel fine, chat. I'm not in pain right now. Oh my god. And then Max, your lunch is almost over. Damn. That's crazy. Shit, man. Well, if you were on yesterday, quick update about what the scuff was. I believe there was actually a fire that was down the street. And so they had started shutting and playing around with utilities, which included the interwebs box. Because I saw like 3 fire trucks pulling away. I was like, oh, okay. So I think that is what happened. That is why we had so much scuff yesterday. It was just very unfortunate timing. Hopefully that is not the case. I did see them out playing in the box again. So I already don't like that, but there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. No, I cannot bill them for lost time. It does not work like that here. It does not work like that here. I did do that. We did do that in the beginning when I was talking about like the 1 week where we didn't have any internet in the neighborhood. That's a different story though. But for this, it's an emergency, man. Like, I don't know. I've got sympathy because firefighting and stuff like that. I would also shut fucking boxes and breakers as quickly as fucking possible to basically everything to make sure that like nothing fucking spreads. So to me, I'm like, yeah, do what you gotta do, man. Because it had it gotten, or like had something gone wrong or something, then there would be no streams. And I would be stuck with no internet. So yeah, that was the excitement that I found out, I guess you could say. In other excitement, Nini's debut is today, which is super exciting. It'll be at 3 o'clock my time. I'm definitely staying up past my bedtime. Yes, I do have a bedtime. So that I can catch that. Bessie wasn't at fault for Minecraft. No, she wasn't at fault for Minecraft. So it's not a Bessie issue. It was just, it was just excuse me, ooh, goodness. Wow. That was almost like, you guys almost got like a huge ass burp, I'm not even gonna lie. But no, shit. It's just a fucking, series of unfortunate events. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Thank you. Buckets of water. What the fuck do you mean? What? No, every sailor's a firefighter, friend. Every sailor's a firefighter. And so, definitely not buckets of water. A fucking hose. But anyway, enough of firefighting in that bullshit. I'm happy, kind of happy I don't have to do it again, because that shit is hot, bro. That shit is fucking hot. Especially like the full I was about to say FRVs, but like the full fucking dress out and shit. Whew, dude. I think the worst part was like on my first deployment, I was in the locker, which means like you're in the damage control locker, you're fucking, that's all you do, is you either do firefighting or you do dewatering or you do something of that sort. And so like it would be fucking hot as shit. They would keep the fucking door open. We're on the O3, so we're right below the flight deck. They would keep the door open, which made it even worse because we were in the Middle East. And so, like, all that hot air and hot-ass fucking exhaust that's also coming off is, like, funneling into this small-ass hallway. We're all crammed into the hallway. And then we have to dress out in the full fucking kit and go play firefighter for God knows how fucking long. And by the time you were done, it was like you had like one of those sauna suits on. Like if I was on shift following that, like I would immediately have to go tell my watch officer, yo, I gotta shower, bro. Like I feel disgusting, like absolutely disgusting. Yeah, fire follows you around. I mean, it's just that's part of the job. It's part of the job. You have to learn it no matter what. It's part of boot camp. Like when you go through, you have to firefight. Everybody does firefighting at some point. It just depends on luck of the draw. Unfortunately, I did get hose team for quite a while before I was my own watch floor officer, and so then I got to sit in radio for all of my GQ, which means I was fucking freezing. So it was actually the exact opposite problem. So instead, now I'm like freezing my ass off in radio, stuck there for hours, can't go on a walk to try to warm up. Yeah, it do be like that sometimes. Got lucky and got phone talker. Dude, I got hella beef with phone talker. And the reason the reason why I got hella beef with phone talker is for some reason on my second deployment, like everybody trained their phone talkers differently, which like didn't fucking make sense, like at all. Like you would think that you would have like, everybody would be trained on how to fucking phone talk and how to pass up information. Tell me why every fucking time my phone talker would complain to me, the watch officer, that they didn't understand what the phone talker and fucking CSAO was doing, the combat systems officer of the watch. Also, I will clarify what a phone talker is in a second. If you need me to clarify anything else I'm saying, feel free. But like, fucking dude, I was... And then they would like, CSAO would call me and be like, your phone talker isn't doing their job. I was like, they're literally sitting right next to me, and I'm telling you, they're like, they are relaying all the information you need. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, maybe it's your phone talker. So then it's like, it was literally the Spider-Man meme, where like they're all pointing at each other. Essentially, that's what was going on. I was like, and like I can't hear what my phone talker is hearing, so I don't know how this other kid is passing up information, but obviously it's fucking wrong because I don't know what the fuck they're saying. I was like, ugh, God. Anyway, phone talker, for those who don't know, when you are in general quarters or battle stations, you can't use the phone lines that are on the ship, like the electric phone lines. So you have to use the sound-powered phones, or the 1JZ. And so that circuit is like, it's like if you attach two cans with string and you were talking to each other that way. The like old Campbell soup fucking, shit. So that's a sound-powered phone. It's supposed to work in all emergencies because it is powered by sound, the vibration and your voice and all that other shit. So anyway, okay, cool. You have two people that will sit. They'll sit at a watch station, and then there'll be another person on the, oh my God, excuse me. I need to take a sippy of water in a second. So they'll be talking, and then there will be another person talking at another watch station. They're passing information back and forth, and that's how we communicate in the event of emergency. So that is what sound powered phone is. It's really fun to tell people that you need sound powered phone batteries and send them on a wild goose chase. That was my favorite thing to do. But that is the only part of the phone talker sound powered phone station that was like enjoyable. Like it, yeah. It is kind of like a giant game of telephone. Exactly, except there's a way that you like report and that you're supposed to report and shit. And not everybody followed that. It causes utter fucking chaos. But you know, it is what it is. Also, combat systems, which is where I was, has a different way of, I guess, breaking down reports than like damage control or DC Central. So they have a totally different acronym and way they report things. So it's just, you know, it can be hell. I'm not gonna lie, it can be fucking hell. Just involved the guy who tried to request the Lincoln initiate a drone strike on someone. No. That was the outside line. That was the outside line. Like the actual phone line. So they weren't making shit up. They just were not using the right reporting fucking, I guess, methodology, I guess you could call it. Yeah, let's go with that. Methodology sounds like a good fucking word for that shit. But like, yeah, essentially they were just like either not providing enough details, or like somebody would fucking mumble on that bitch and then you couldn't hear it. So my phone talker would be like, say again, and then like they mumble again, and then my phone talker would get pissed off and be like, IT2, I literally can't fucking hear what they're fucking saying. And I'm like, God. It is fun. Hi, GM2 in the reserves. Did 4 years prior. Active. Have been in the reserves for the last 8 years. My command just made reserves doing spot checks. Like 3M spot checks? Como se dice the fuck? And none of them who have been in a unit have ever done them. That sounds about right. Sorry, I'm laughing at your pain, but like, that sounds about right. Plus, we don't have the up-to-date inspection forms from our vehicles, so everybody's looking like a shit bag when it checks into XO or CMC comes around. Oh, Lord. That sounds like fun. It sounds like, you know... I guess the good thing is like, you can get a form on Google. Just like, if you Google TICOM shit, like, I guess that's the good part, is you can find it there. Or I would just send emails to people. I'm not even gonna lie. I just sent random ass emails. If I didn't have something, I was sending emails to fucking Joe Schmo up in, I didn't even know them. Just send a fucking email. I mean, it sucks. It sucks. And especially like if you're just starting the 3M program and you're just starting it with like reservists who have probably never, you know, obviously never fucking done a spot check or haven't done spot checks in forever. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I was 3M. What's the one? Chief Qual, Chief and Divo. 3M 304, I think. So I could, I couldn't. I guess technically I could do spot checks, but just like the way that my command did it, like if you were an E5 with 3M 304, you could do what's that shit? Not spot checks. Fuck. You could tell I'm losing all my Navy, finally, after 3 fucking years. You could do... What's that other shit? The one that's not as formal as a spot check. Fucking hell. Thank God. Actually, thank God that I'm losing all this shit. But anyway, we could do those. But we couldn't do spot checks. Come in for a moment, I need my spot check. No. My 3M is probably very expired by now. What is it, 2 series that you have to go? I think I had like Papa series or some shit. You can like let it roll for 2 and then you have to like recertify yourself or requal. Do you like egg rolls? I do like egg rolls. Egg rolls are fucking fantastic. Fuck yeah, they are. Alrighty. So, anyway, I did get some submissions, which is super exciting. So, we can either go into submissions or we can talk about Julia Parsons, whichever one you guys would like to do first. How many we got? Like how many spot checks or how many egg rolls? My price for spot checks is 5 egg rolls per spot check. If it's lumpia, then that you get a discount. That's like you three per spot check. You know. But you know, it just depends. Just depends. Um Down for history lesson. I mean, we're gonna do both, but I didn't know which ones you guys wanted to do first. Remy says vet forms. Let's see. Let me pull up play form too. I just gotta make sure we've got yes. Perfect. I do have it up. Because I was kind of rushing to get set up, I'm not gonna lie. How many do we have? So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 submissions. For this week at least. Obviously I reposted everything, and I can probably repost that link as well, just for anybody who is listening. So for those of you who do not know what I am doing for the month of May, since it is Military Appreciation Month and it's also the month of Memorial Day, I decided that I wanted to hear your stories about veterans. Obviously, you guys hear me yap about my time in the Navy, but what is interesting is hearing other stories. So there are rules and stuff like that. I'm actually going to take my... Let's just take my tweet. I'll pin it so that you can see it. We do have some rules just to continue to follow community guidelines and VFleet rules and all that super fun stuff. But see, normally that is true. One of the people I do know who they're I do know that they put a submission in, but I don't know. I don't think he is streaming currently, so it would be nice. I would like to make sure that he knows that we fuck. What am I doing? No, he's not. I just wanted to make sure that he knows that we are going to be talking about his person. You can do Julia first. All right, you know what? Yeah, let's do Julia first. Okay, so Julia Parsons recently found out that she passed away, which was super sad, but she was 104, and she was one of the code breakers back in World War II. Super duper smart lady. Actually, fun fact about her, she is the oldest Wordle player in the world. So outside of her service, she is the oldest Wordle player, which I think is so fucking cool. I did find a video of her speaking for her 100th birthday that WQED Pittsburgh did. So we will watch that. And then I also found somebody, the Veterans Breakfast Club, actually did a write-up for her and wrote it as if, you know, she was speaking. I'm guessing that she gave the interview and then they just had an author actually type it up. So I figured we would read that. Yes, 104 is a good amount of time to live. Absolutely. But yeah, she was part of Navy Waves, an all-women's code-breaking team out of Washington, D.C., which is absolutely fucking cool. And obviously, me being on the IT crypto field, that is so fucking cool to me. So anyway, let's go. I'm gonna transition to our video screen so you guys can actually hear her speak and you know, get to see her 100th birthday celebration. Was actually pretty cool. They had people come by the house and march by her house, which is sweet. Very sweet. All right, So here's your warning. If you're wearing headphones, the transition is coming, and it's fucking loud. All right, 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. Why do I always end up over here, man? Just move myself. I will never understand it, dude. Will never. Oh. Oh. Hello, you can see me. Not that. Not that. I didn't want that. Go away. I wanted this. Are you going to allow me? Are you going to allow me? Why you got ads? You shouldn't have gotten ads. Your star's missing then? Fucking what? You guys are seeing Eveception today. Damn, that's fucking crazy. Why won't you let me? OBS, I'm going to scream. I'm literally just trying to. All right. In that case, I just, I get tested every day, if you haven't noticed. Every damn day. Every damn day. We, have, we have some sort of fuck up. Oh my god. Okay. Every fucking day, dude. Something different. Something different. They don't want me to be great. As my, I've said this before. As my RDC has said before. They don't want me to be fucking great. They don't want me to be great. They want me to just, yeah. They don't want me to be great. Do be like that sometimes. Alright, fuck it. Fuck it, Weeball. Keeps life interesting? Yeah, I guess you could say that. We're gonna cut off my tabs. Nothing exciting going on there anyway. Alrighty. Okay. What doesn't kill you can only make you more frustrated. Real. Especially recently. Especially fucking recently. Okay. Well, here we go. Is it playing? Hello?
The Veterans Breakfast Club has organized this wonderful parade and celebration for Julia Parsons.
We do this once a week. We literally do this once a week. We literally do this once a fucking week. Let's try this again. Bessie, I'm looking at you. This is more of an OBS issue, though.
The Veterans Breakfast Club has organized this wonderful parade and celebration for Julia Parsons on the occasion of her 100th birthday. Julia was one of these rare code breakers in the Navy during World War II. She did really important top secret work decoding the German military code Enigma.
It didn't lead to the end of the World War II directly, but it did save thousands and thousands of lives to be able to read the Nazis' secret communications.
Everybody is making a big thing of this. I'm almost embarrassed by it.
Aww.
I don't know how I've lived so long.
There are not very many World War II 100-year-old women, and we are losing World War II people. World War II is very special people.
The war was the beginning of the fact that women realized they could do stuff just as well as men, and sometimes better. The war had broken out in the fall of 41 with Pearl Harbor, and I was due to graduate in the spring of 42 from Carnegie Tech. The whole graduating
does look good
class
for
was
100
in the
here.
ROTC,
Absolutely.
and they zoomed off. They were gone. Everybody we knew has gone. And we could sit here and roll up silver paper and knit booties or something. I knew I could do more. I had to find a job somewhere, and in the paper I saw that the Navy had started to take in women. And I thought, that sounds interesting. So I applied, and they said if you were a college graduate, you could go directly to officer training school. I was sent to Northampton to Smith College for 3 months, where they gave us a basic Navy type training. We had all kinds of subjects, but nothing to do with decoding. And we ended up in the Communications Annex Northwest in Washington.
The borough of Forest Hills congratulates Julia Parsons upon the occasion of her 100th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Julia, this is a present. This is from the borough, Forest Hills.
Oh,
Yes.
my goodness.
350,000 women served in uniform during World War II, and women played really important roles on the home front during the war. They were doing jobs that normally men did, and it was a transformative experience for that generation of women. I mean, Julia will tell you it was the most important work she ever did in her life.
We all sat in a room waiting for the assignment that we were to be given. And a woman came in and said, "Does anyone speak German?" And I said,
love
I took 2 years of
this
it in
picture of
high
her,
school,
by
and
the
I
way.
ended up in the German U-boat decrypted section. This Enigma machine was so complicated. It was like a large typewriter, but it had the same keyboard that we have now on computers, and any letter that went in came out something else. And then it went into the second wheel and came out and went into the third wheel. So it was decoded 4 times.
My name is Sam Lemley. I'm the curator of special collections at Carnegie Mellon University
Thank
Libraries.
you.
We have 2 Enigma
world during
machines
this
in
time
the
was absolute
collection. One
badasses.
3-rotor
Yes.
model, which is the earlier one,
You meant
and
women.
one 4-rotor
The
model.
world and
This is
women,
the
yes.
4-rotor Enigma, and it's the one that Julia Parsons worked on during World War II. And it's the more complex of the 2 models because they added the 4th rotor. So they were invented actually by a man named Arthur Scarbius. He was a German inventor, businessman in the 1920s. Because their original purpose was actually to disguise business communications. The Nazi military very quickly realized the power that they would lend to their ciphering, and why it was considered almost unbreakable is because you had a combination of,
you,
encryptions.
guys.
A plain text letter was encrypted multiple times. That's really
Hype
the
train.
secret of
Hype
its,
train
its
for
power,
Julia.
right? Its effectiveness.
The Germans had the machine and we did not. But we finally did get it and got a copy of it. And then everybody used it, all the ships at sea and airplanes. They were so conceited, they thought nobody could break into their setup. I don't remember anything remarkable coming through other than rendezvous points for the submarines to attack a convoy or whatever.
So the machine was used for everything, every kind of communication, from something as mundane as the weather report at the beginning of every day to troop movements, tactics, things like that. But the 4-rotor model, which was more complex,
Thank you,
was
Burst
used
of
by the
Fire.
Navy.
Thank you,
and
guys.
specifically the Nazis' U-boat fleet. They're fascinating devices.
Hold on, let me pause this. Thank you guys so much for the resubs and Burst of Fire for gifting. I'm assuming you're adding. Are we adding that to the shoulder bank? Save it, okay? It's going in the shoulder bank. Oh boy, but it is really interesting. Great grandma was a petty officer in the Navy during World War II as a CB. Definitely, if you want to add her to our list of people that we are going to be talking about, make sure you click that link and submit her story. I'd love to hear about her. At this point, it's the burst bank. That's true. That's so true. This reminds me of the 6888. Oh, I was going to actually talk about the 6888 next week, but also great movie and a kick-ass fucking story. Okay, right, let's get back into it.
Of unspeakable sort of electromechanical complexity. I often point out that they're also fairly dark. You know, they have this dark history.
Her project gathered mathematicians from around the world, code breakers from around the world, and she did that work at Washington, D.C., and she couldn't talk to anybody about it for 50 years after her service. And it's just so wonderful to celebrate her today. It's a kind of a delayed thank you for the service that she did for our country 75 years ago.
That's lovely. That's very nice. Thank you.
Work on the Enigma machine wasn't declassified until the 1970s. And then after that, it wasn't very widely shared. So some, even people like Julia Parsons, who were working on the decoding directly, weren't aware of it until even into the 90s, early 2000s.
That was quite a shock to me because I could have talked about it a lot sooner.
Well, if we had failed to decipher Enigma, I don't think there's any doubt among experts that the war would have been protracted considerably, because the strategic advantage that we gained by being able to read Nazi communications really helped us.
It was a great time to be alive, and living in Washington, D.C., I loved it. And I met my husband there at a party, and we were married for 62 years.
62
and he
years.
died about 15 years ago. I was married in 1944, and I got pregnant in the spring of 45, but I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want to leave the service.
Oh my God.
By
Props to
then
her,
the war
man.
in Europe was over, and they were trying to find a place for me to replace the job because obviously I wasn't needed. Nobody was needed in that section anymore, and I would love to have stayed in. I went back to Carnegie Mellon when my youngest daughter was in 4th grade and got my teaching certification in high school English. So then I taught at North Allegheny for 5 years. I had 3 children, 8 grandchildren, and 11 great-grandchildren, and more to come.
Just started talking to vets about their service, and they would tell me these wonderful stories that were better than anything I had to say when I was giving a lecture. And not only that, but they wanted to share their stories.
We've just had a wonderful parade, and more people than we ever imagined are here. It's really a wonderful celebration. And the Veterans Breakfast Club has just been fabulous for her. She was going into schools, especially with young schoolgirls. She'd love that because she really inspired them as to what women could do.
She's a very inspiring lady.
My husband said one time,
Shit.
he said, unfortunately for you, you were born a woman. And I said, yes, but I can do things. I don't want to just scrub floors. And I said, I have nothing against housekeeping and being a mother and all that. I said, I want to really do something in this world now that I know I can. I didn't really join just to serve the country. I wanted to end the war. This was part of my goal, and I helped.
So that is Miss Julia Parsons. And so I posted about it recently, finding out that she passed away. She passed away April 19th, I believe. And it was not released to U.S. Naval Institute until recently that she had passed. So, yeah, 104. That is a hell of a life. I'm going to go back to the Yap screen real quick. But yeah, that is a hell of a life, man. Obviously, an insane contribution that we don't really hear about, or we don't really even learn about, which is such a fucking shame. I did want to also read the Veterans Breakfast Club's write-up from her, where she actually talks about her time working on the Enigma machine and kind of what had happened after the war and everything like that. So Let's see here. Alrighty. So this is the story of World War II codebreaker and Navy Waves Julia Parsons, as told by Todd D. Pastino. I think was that the guy that was talking at the beginning of that? Was his name Todd? I can't remember. It might be. It might be. Alrighty. So she says, the war came at the perfect time for me. I was a senior at Carnegie Tech and was about to graduate a general studies degree that equipped me to do practically nothing in the real world. After working a few months in the summer of 1942 in an Army ordnance lab checking gauges on shells made in Pittsburgh steel mills, I read the newspaper article about the Navy accepting women into service as commissioned officers for the first time. College graduates could earn commission by going through an officer candidate program. I signed up right away and became a Navy Wave, women accepted for volunteer emergency service. I shipped out for officer training on April 13th, 1943. We marched from Keystone Hotel on Wood Street downtown to the old P&LE railroad station across the river. We went straight through the back door and onto a train. Goodbye, Pittsburgh, I thought, relishing my chance to see more of the world. My first great shock was the sight of the white snow in Northampton, Massachusetts. In dirty Pittsburgh, fallen snow merely provided a backdrop for the black soot that rained from the skies without cease. I marveled, too, at the ubiquitous, oh my God, New England evergreens. These trees were rare back home, where poisonous acids polluted the air. Several hundred of us young women crowded into the dorms of Smith College, USS Northampton, for Naval Reserve Midshipman School. We marched to and from classes, the only marching we would ever do in the Navy, intended to equip us for useful Navy work. The focus of our coursework was cryptology, but we also took classes in physics, Navy history, and identifying ships by their silhouette. They worked us hard, and those of us who scored high enough upon graduation shipped straight to Washington, D.C. I was among that group, as was my roommate, Sandy. Nice, nice. Sandy and I stayed in quarters D at Naval Barracks with 4,000 other waves before finding third floor walk-up rooms in Georgetown, a posh area, but not then. A posh area now, but not then. That's true. Georgetown is pretty nice now. Washington hummed during the war years with important people doing important work, and all of them in uniform, it seemed. There were uniforms from all over the world, veritable United Nations on the streets, scuttling in and out of buildings, all working hard for the war effort. Everyone Sandy and I knew came through Washington sooner or later. And there was always someone, a friend of mine, or a friend of Sandy's, sleeping on one of our pull-out couches. That's something that has never changed. That is something that has never changed. Whenever a friend of mine that I made through training or through boot camp or whatever, whenever they were coming to visit, San Diego or whatever, couch was always available. If you didn't want to stay in the hotel alone, or you didn't know where to go, couch was always available, man. When we arrived in Washington, we reported to the Naval Communications Annex housed in a former girls' school in Mount Vernon's Seminary, located in northwest Washington on Massachusetts Avenue near Ward Circle. The complex is still there, serving a similar purpose to the Department of Homeland Security. We gathered in a beautiful campus chapel and sat in velvet padded pews, the kind with little doors at the end of the rows, and waited for our assignments. Someone came in and asked, "Does anyone here speak German?" I raised my hand because I'd taken 2 years of it in high school. They shot me off to the Enigma section immediately, and I began learning how to decode German U-boat message traffic on the job day one. The U-boat section was codenamed Shark. There was a separate ship section with which I had no contact. Enemy messages arrived all day from all over the North Atlantic, plus the North Sea and the Bay of Biscay. The Allies receiving towers would intercept German-coded radio messages, and operators would transmit them via teletype to Washington, D.C., where armies of technicians like me would begin decoding them. Decoding wasn't easy, and it would have been impossible if the British hadn't captured a German Enigma machine and 3 months worth of code, and 3 months only, she puts in quotation marks, from German submarine U-559 in October 1942. The machines they captured was the M4 Enigma for U-boats only. I looked at the typewriter. It looked like a typewriter with a small wooden cabinet. Inside the cabinet is where Enigma worked its diabolical, to us, magic. Each key on the typewriter was wired to a wheel, and each wheel to another wheel, and then 2 others, 4 wheels in all. Each wheel changed the letter that went to it, so that the letter that was typed went through 4 generations of change before outputting as a seemingly random letter. The wheels were removable and could be rearranged, and their alphabet settings could also be changed, and they were every 12 hours. That's actually very similar to how crypto and code works, nowadays. There's still a 12 to 24 hour window where things and keys roll. This morning, the morning code was never the same as the afternoon code. The only rule, and it was one that proved tremendously useful to us, was that the outputted letter could never match the inputted letter. It was a safety measure the Germans had built into Enigma, but it also helped us eliminate plausible but false messages. We would receive the messages and put them on ticker tape in one long unbroken line of letters. Then, using the code captured off the sinking U-boat, we would set our Enigma machine for the morning or afternoon's code, run the received message through Enigma, and read the outputted message. We got better and better at matching the decoded messages with our intelligence and got so that we could pretty much track U-boat fleet movements throughout the Atlantic. When the 3 months worth of captured code ran out, we were stuck. Enigma became an enigma again. The U-boat traffic became unreadable. To us, decryption was a logic game, and when we also knew that many American and Allied lives, indeed perhaps the outcome of the war in Europe, depended on our efforts. From 1939, groups of German U-boat wolf packs stalked and sank thousands of Allied ships. American soldiers and sailors, as well as millions and tons of supplies and equipment destined for Great Britain and the Soviet Union, went down in the Atlantic, greatly harming the war effort. If we couldn't win the Battle of the Atlantic, we might not be able to win the war. The messages we decoded were specific in directing U-boats to rendezvous with other ships in certain locations. We had a huge map of the Atlantic Ocean on the wall, divided into numbered quadrants into pins marking the last known locations of every U-boat. And if we didn't break the code for 2 or 3 days, we didn't know if the U-boat had changed position. And American convoys leaving New York or Boston or Virginia might just sail right into the middle of a wolf pack. One of my fellow waves at our department, Jean McDevitt, had a husband who sailed every 6 weeks or so on convoys as a naval officer. Whenever he'd shove off, Jean would come into our room and say, "Okay, now get busy. Mac's convoy left today. You'd better break that message traffic. I want Mac to come home alive." And she'd come around every hour or so to see if we'd broken the code. So this was all very real and immediate for us. We knew lives were on the line. Our effort to do the impossible to break the unbreakable code was serious business. Every once in a while, we'd catch a break. U-boats sometimes lost radio contact, and when they'd surface to recharge their batteries, they'd radio their base requesting that missed messages were resent. That still happens today. Sometimes we'd be able to match these recorded messages against messages sent in the old code we'd broken. When that happened, it was like picking a lock and opening a door to a room full of useful information. We got help from a marvelous machine, entirely new to us, called a bombe, B-O-M-B-E. Actually, I've never heard of that. I need to look up that pronunciation. a computer as big as a piano, and the computer took the information we fed into it about possible wheel orders and settings along with the messages we'd received and not decoded, and then worked through the different possibilities. A lot of work, however, was still done by our fallible human brains. One week, when we hadn't been able to decode any messages at all, I got the task of creating a huge paper spreadsheet containing information on all the messages we'd received in the past 6 months. The subject, the time and date, the sending location, etc. The spreadsheet revealed a small detail that we had missed about the daily message traffic. Every night at 7:30 p.m., a German control center would send out a weather report from the bay every night, like clockwork, the same message sent at the exact same time. Is that a Turing machine? No. That's not a Turing machine. That is different. Let's see. I know I've been reading, so I haven't been reading your guys' inputs. The wording was virtually the same each night, verboten in any code operation, and the sender even failed to use dummy words at the beginning of the messages because we knew the message content. We could work backwards and figure out the afternoon code. We'd simply wait until 7:30 p.m., receive the message, break the code, and then work like mad deciphering the messages we'd received earlier that day. We did this from the time I made the spreadsheet until the end of the war. It was our permanent solution to the problem of the code, simple human carelessness on the Germans' part. And the only time we tripped up was when the message sender accidentally misspelled Biscay as Biscay. Instead of B-I-S-C-A-Y, it was B-I-S-K-A-Y. That threw us off, but the next day we were back on track. My work on Enigma was exciting and fascinating, but it was sad and poignant also. After months of daily eavesdropping on U-boat messages back and forth, we really got to know those German crews like characters in a book. Not all the messages were official war business. There were many personal ones. Congratulations, your son was born yesterday. Or notes of support from loved ones. These Germans were just people like we were. Many of them probably didn't know or didn't want to be at war under the ocean. They longed for home like our boys did. When a U-boat went down, we would think, there goes that little boy's father. I have thoughts about that, and we'll save that for a second because it's something I've talked about before, but I do want to talk about that thought process again. I recall one U-boat commander wondering in a message why American airplanes were always overheard when his ship surfaced. He knew their code was being broken, but no one in Berlin would listen. When our planes eventually destroyed that ship, it bothered me a lot, as it did many of my colleagues. We fought an intimate war in our Enigma section, and our intimacy with the enemy crews bred ambivalence with their destruction. We had to sink their U-boats. I just wish we'd saved more of their crew. Another difficult part of the job was that we couldn't talk to anyone about it. Not one word. We'd been warned on the first day that we weren't to discuss ever with anyone outside our section. If we did, we'd be arrested for treason, and the penalty was death. We took the threat seriously and understood the dangers of loose lips, which, in my case, really could sink ships. God, so true. My roommate Sandy worked in the Japanese section, and she never talked about her work either. I met my future husband while I was in Washington. We got married in that same beautiful chapel where I'd received my assignment to Enigma, and he never knew what I did. Decades later, he still didn't know. They did talk about that. The war's end was bittersweet for me. I loved my work at the Naval Communications Annex, and at the end of the war meant that the end of that work, there was nothing to do. Women workers all over America, both in uniforms and civilians, lost their jobs so that the returning servicemen could reclaim theirs, and rightly so, I suppose. But it meant that women really had very few options, except to go back to the kitchen or perhaps find jobs as a teacher, nurse, or secretary. World War II was our moment of glory, and we did just about everything, and its memory remained with us and nurtured, I think, our breakout decades later. I remained completely silent about my wartime work until 1997, 52 years after the war, when my old friend Jean McDevitt and I paid a visit to the National Cryptologic Museum near Fort Meade, Maryland. The exhibits were astounded me. There was every sort of Enigma machine, early models, late models, on display for all to see, with detailed explanations of how they worked. I asked a tour guide about it, and he said that our secret work at the Communications Annex began to be declassified in the 1970s. I shook my head in dismay. All those years of silence, I think, did a disservice to history. The museum exhibits were riddled with small errors about the details that were vitally important to us, such as a string of numbers we'd enter into our computers. It was 126, not 025. as the exhibit claimed. I'm laughing because I have had this happen already. It's been good to break the silence, good for me and good for history. And that was what she wrote for the Veterans Breakfast Club, or helped assist write. I did have that already, where somebody tried to tell me about my deployment. Given they were not in the strike group, they were just a naval enthusiast, and I had to be like, no, that's actually not how it happened, but okay. So I've already had that weird moment, and I know some of my friends who fought boots on ground in Afghanistan. There are some museums that have already started their their exhibits for that, and they have been confronted with misinformation about the operations and stuff like that. That was that. The one thing I did want to talk about was when she mentioned that, her kind of humanizing the adversary, and I think that is like one of the things that like you have to unpack when you come back from a combat deployment. You have to, you have to recognize that, like, shit's fucked. Like, nobody wants to be there. Everybody is a human at the end of the day. They have lives, they have families, they have, friends and stuff like that. And it took me until my second deployment to be able to do that. I will be the first to admit that I had some really problematic and horrible views coming off of my first deployment. And there are definitely people who get stuck in that, especially veterans, and get stuck in that mindset. And it's tough, and you have to kind of sit in that uncomfortableness, but it's very, very necessary for, coming back and kind of assimilating back to society. New here, you're telling me you were a soldier deployed? I was a sailor. Don't disrespect me like that. I was not in the Army. I was in the Navy for 4 years. I served on board the USS Abraham Lincoln, which is CVN 72. And I did 2 deployments on that boat, one to the Middle East and then one West Pacific / South China Sea deployment. So, so that first deployment for me, I will admit, I have no problem admitting that I had some very problematic views coming home. And so anybody who is struggling with that, if you are hearing this, it is okay. It is okay to talk to somebody. It's okay to talk to a buddy about it. It's okay to talk to a therapist about it. Nobody's going to shame you for that shit. But it is going to be fucking uncomfortable, man. I'm not going to lie. In what part of the ship were you operational-wise? I was in radio. I was a communications watch officer. That was my ending position, I guess you could say. My final position on the ship. And that first deployment, I was actually doing message traffic. So not as badass as Julia Parsons, but similar, similar to where I was reading message traffic all day, every day, and that was my job for 12 hours a day. So, no, not sonars, not sonars. I played with magic skywaves. I played with satellites, and just general comms. So, commo, well, I wasn't an officer, but yes, yes, kind of. Communications watch officer for a carrier. Essentially, the commo is your divo, right? You essentially are the person who is coordinating a shit ton for the strike group. You are coordinating back to shore, troubleshooting, helping other ships troubleshoot within the strike group. You're the reach back. So, there was that. Yeah, I'm not fucking singing. You can absolutely no. Respectfully, fuck no. But yeah, I was enlisted. I was an E5 when I got out. I was a fucking ESWAS and information warfare baddie. Fuck. Oh god. Didn't do my air warfare. I ran out of time. But yeah, E5 gang, let's go. Yes. And that was that. That was that. I had a short career, I guess you could say. I did my 4 and out. Because my brain broke, but it do be like that sometimes. But I wouldn't change it for the world. And I definitely don't regret it. Do I wish it went differently? Yeah, I do. But it shit happens. Shit happens. So I guess that's a little bit about my story. Oh my god, John, this is the wall of text. I'm not gonna lie, friend. I have not been able to read your stuff because you were sending me wall of text before. Oh my god. So you're not part of sonar. I'm not telling you the complete truth. Have you ever heard singing? Sonar tech. Giving good greetings, but you work in communications, so I doubt you would be tuned in to the right frequency to listen to weird shit. No. Don't get me wrong. There were many a times we were tuned into some weird shit. Fuck. Not a lot that I can really confidently talk about. But I think the funniest one is probably hearing pilots just straight up fucking drop cuss like fucking cuss words and shit. Yeah. And then like people would get like you'd always have one guy who get like pissed off, like the tactical action officer, you get pissed off that like they were dropping cuss words over the net. It's like, dude, like, who the fuck cares? Like nobody is gonna get in trouble, get hemmed up. Like it's just is there is there an issue with decorum? Yeah, sure, but like I don't know, not not the end of the fucking world. Like we had one TAO who genuinely thought that shit was the end of the fucking world. Like it really fucking is not. Like you're not. Nobody's gonna die because somebody said motherfucker over the net. Like, I promise. But yeah, I mean that was that's like, I guess the one thing I can talk about without getting into too much detail. The other one that's pretty entertaining is hearing other countries tell each other to fuck off, get out of my waters, and then somebody would say these are not contested waters. You actually probably have heard these communications when they do get declassified. You more hear them with jets. You'll hear them like say like you need to get out of contested airspace, and then they'll be like this is non-contested airspace, it's international airspace, blah blah blah, and they have a whole like lowdown. That was still pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. Motherfucker suddenly comp star. Who said that? It was the motherfucker one was actually a hotkey, which was funny because like we were tapped into the net because I was troubleshooting it, and then you just heard someone go motherfucker and like literally nothing else after that. So they didn't even know where it came from. And then after that, the TAO came over and was like, you can't say that. And we're like, who, like, nobody gives a fuck. Like actually. Actually, nobody gives a fuck. But yeah. So there is that. I guess let's get into some of our submissions that I received, because, you know, why the fuck not? Let me get it pulled up. So I asked you guys, yes, you can nominate 2 people. You can nominate as many people as you want. I will say our early submissions, a little lackluster. So if you are watching the VOD or you're watching this now, please, resubmit, add some more detail. The whole point of this is not only to highlight your loved one's service, but I also want to hear about who they are as a person, okay? Because I'm a person. Obviously, I just yapped your fucking ear off about some of my service, but there's shit I still like outside of my service. I like VTubing. I like streaming. I like, I'm getting back into gaming, which is super fucking fun. I like computers and fucking nerd shit and anime and weeb shit and you know what I mean? So there were a few that I was, it's like, man, I really wish I could hear some more other than, they were XYZ. And I understand that the service part of somebody and what they did in the service is super duper interesting, but I also challenge you to get to know the veteran, the person behind the service. So, that is my goal in this, and hopefully, if it inspires one person to start asking Grandpa some more questions other than what they did in a tank, then I've done my fucking job. All right. So first one, we have Lieutenant Colonel Jason C. He was in the Air Force. Actually, let's go over the questions that I asked. So I asked for the veteran's name, rank, first name, last initial. We are not doing any pictures or anything, just for anonymity's sake. What branch did they serve in? What was their job? So their MOS or their rate. When did they serve? Or like the years, the campaigns. Tell us about their service. Where did they serve? Deployments, patrols, campaigns, ship battalion command. Any stories they like to tell. And then tell us more outside their service. What do they like to do? Their favorite food, some fun facts. And then why are you nominating them? How do they inspire you or others around them? You can also say, I just love them. That's also an acceptable answer, but I do want to hear more. So, especially for this person, Lieutenant Jason C. So whoever nominated him, I would love to hear more about him. But he did serve in the Air Force. He was a flight commander and pilot. He served 10 years ago and in England. He's a commander for the ROTC, and he was nominated because they are an Army colonel in ROTC. Again, would love to hear more about him outside of his service. ROTC, very cool, and I'm glad that he's still finding a way to get involved, but would definitely like to hear more. So if you're listening to this, definitely resubmit. All right, then we have Major Lewis O. He was in the Army. He was an 11 Bang Bang, 11 Bravo infantry. He served from 1999 to 2025. So he just got out. Wow. Good for him. He must have retired this year. Congratulations on retirement. He served in both Iraq and Afghanistan. He took part of Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and many more. One time during a patrol, he was walking through this alleyway with his team where all of a sudden out of the left end of the wall, an insurgent with a boom boom, let's just say that. let's just say a boom boom fired, and luckily the aim was bad enough where it went dead center of the alley and he saw the rocket barely miss him and his team. A lot of his guys had to change their pants after that. I would also change my pants after that. Holy shit. Whew, man, I would be, oh God, yeah, I would be kissing the ground, praying to God, changing my pants. Wow, shit. Luckily, they neutralized the insurgent before he could do any more damage. He loves shooting guns. He currently is doing government contracting, and he's a big car guy. Sweet. He's a big fucking car guy. Love that. I'm nominating him because he's a big inspiration for me to join the Army. I'm currently in college doing ROTC and planning on being in special operations after I finish. Fuck yeah, dude. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be in the position that I am at this current moment. Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, good luck with yours, and thank you for sharing his story. Yeah, he must have just retired this year. Fucking lucky, dude. I love that. Love that. All right, next we have Lance Corporal John William L., who's the Australian Army Signal Corps. He's E4, and in signals, he served from 1973 to 1980. Ooh, I gotta move this over a little bit. My father, John, moved to Australia from England in 1972 to regroup with the rest of the family who had already immigrated. He joined the Army in 1973, later volunteering for Signal Corps after completing basic training. He was the first responder to one of Australia's worst ever national disasters, Cyclone Tracy, in 1974. It was a rough cleanup, but he had a few funny stories, the funniest being that the entire Army contingent queuing for the last standing pizza shop in the entire city of Darwin, and the rest having been flattened by the storm. Oh, one pizza shop just to help everyone. Jeez. He later deployed on operations during the Papua New Guinea independence crisis for the mid-1970s and its ongoing guerrilla war between Indonesia, West Papua, and Timor, protecting Australian interests in the region. Due to his role in signals and comms and intelligence while attached to the Australian Special Operations, his combat operations record remains classified. Suffice to say, thankfully, despite being shot at directly and engaging in combat, the fact that I exist to write this story means the enemy's missed. I love that. The pizza store had the chance of out-pizzaing the hut. Oh, God. Actually, Pizza Hut has a fucking stronghold in Oman, bro. I feel like you guys have heard of the Pizza Hut story. I'm not going to bore you with that. If you want to hear the Pizza Hut story, I'll tell it, but man, I feel like I've already told the Pizza Hut story. If not, let me know. John is an aviation nutcase, a trait he passed on to me. He obsesses over things that fly, air shows, museums. He's also very active in the veteran community, even serving as president of the local branch of the RSL, which is Legion, like an American Legion for UK-US, for many years. This is a particularly incredible achievement given that the aforementioned obsession with airplanes is definitely a result of the infamous TISM. He remains one of the most socially awkward men in human history. Listen, it's something about comms, okay? We all are a little, we're all a little there, myself included. So the fact that he overcame that fear to step up and advocate for veterans, make speeches, and run an organization is truly incredible. His favorite food is Indian, and amazingly, he can make it from scratch. He is an incredible cook, genuinely incredible. He is also an excellent singer, worked as a lighting engineer in amateur theater, drove a cab in the 80s, and finally worked for Coca-Cola over the course of 35 years. Dude, that's nuts. He sounds fucking awesome. So why are you nominating him? He's my dad. He's a hero. He's gone through things that no one should experience. Personal tragedy, hardships. He chose to be a soldier and carry out a long-standing military tradition in our family when everyone else became an academic, including me. No one gives him enough credit, and I need to start rectifying that. And yes, I love him, but sons don't tell their dads that. Men don't tell each other that, and we really should, but this is better. Oh, I'm gonna cry. That was so sweet. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love that. I love that. You said please tell the Pizza Hut story? All right. I'll tell the Pizza Hut story and then we'll move on to our next person. All right. So in Oman, there is a port called Duqm, D-U-Q-M. It is the only place really where carriers can port in the Middle East besides Bahrain. So we pull into Duqm, Oman 3 fucking times, and it is a sandbox. There's nothing there. There's quite a nice beach there. I will say it's quite a nice beach, but you know, nothing really to do at the time. There were like 3 hotels there, maybe 2. I can't remember. Anyway. When I say sandbox, I don't mean like the whole of the Emmy though. When I say sandbox, I say that as like the Navy had nowhere for us to go necessarily, so they kind of just set up their own space for us. So we had beer on the pier. We had, you know, the hotels came out and they brought, you know, liquor and stuff for people to purchase. There was a shop called Duqm Fried Chicken. You can look it up. Actually really bomb ass milkshakes. I'm not even fucking with you. Chicken was okay, but the milkshakes were fucking awesome. And then also, we had Pizza Hut. And every time that there was Pizza Hut, there was a guy named Sebastian. At least that was his name on his name tag. Sebastian, Sebastian gave me a lot of free pizza, but I think it was Sebastian trying to get me to go out with him. So here we are, hot as balls, fucking sand everywhere. I'm just trying to get pizza because my friends are too drunk and I need them to eat something and put something in their fucking stomach before we get back on the ship, because I know these motherfuckers, they're gonna fucking barf all over the berthing. And that's disgusting. It's really nasty when you're in the berthing, your friend pukes from drinking too much and it's too fucking hot. There's no AC on the boat, or the AC is not fucking working. It's just, it's a fucking wreck. So anyway, I'm trying to get pizza for them so that they can put something in their fucking stomachs. And yeah, he would just like stare me down like across the conics. And I was like, okay, all right, Sebastian. Like, I appreciate it, buddy, but, like, not like that. And I was not the only one. Apparently, there were a few ladies who Sebastian had his eye on who he would just give out free pizza. He was trying to out Pizza the Hut, man. Like, I don't know, but I was like, all right, buddy, that was cool. But yeah, that was something. I still remember this, you know, how many years later? It's been 7 years since I was in the Middle East, some shit. I don't know. 2019? Yeah, do the math. I'm not doing the math. But, yeah. Yep. So that is that. 6 years ago, same year HQ7 was released. God. Oh God. But yeah. Yep. That was that. All right. Anyway. Oh, you finally submitted your grandma? Okay. Oh, I see. Yes, I see her. her thing, so we can probably get to it this week. Should be super exciting. All right, next we have Colonel Roger L. He was in the Air Force. He's WSO. What's the WSO in the Air Force? Weapons System Officer. Okay, all right. We got hella acronyms, and they all mean a different thing in different branches. So, so Weapons System Officer. He served in Vietnam from 1969 to the end of the war, and then post-Vietnam from 1976 to 1998. He was in the 555th Tactical Fighter Squadron in Vietnam. Personally, I don't know a lot about them. However, I did meet them at MOF one time. He told a story about how he got shot down in 1972 during Operation Linebacker and evaded capture for 23 days before being rescued. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Not much outside of their service. I'm guessing they... Oh, I see. I met him sometime during the pandemic, sometime between 2020 and 2023, and though I can't fully remember the time I spent with him, I just felt honored to met him and wanted to nominate him because they are one of the only vets I have met. Gotcha. Well, if you do remember anything, feel free to submit it again. That's fucking nuts. That's a crazy-ass story. Next, we have Lewis D. We don't have a rank. Oh, U.S. Marine Gunnery Sergeant. Okay. So Gunnery Sergeant Lewis D. served in the Marines. When did they serve? Iraq, 2002. I know he was a gunnery sergeant and was a scout sniper. Lewis D., a U.S. Marine gunnery sergeant, was leading a team in Iraq when tasked with clearing a collapsed building at dusk. Though the power grid was reported to be down, he backed into a live wire and was dangling down from the ceiling. Oh. Well, that's not good. That's definitely not supposed to happen. Curled underneath his combat helmet and electrocuted him at the base of his skull. Whoa. Whoa. So he passed away in that moment, but was soon revived. I'm assuming by the doc. Holy fuck. Actually not the first time that I've seen some shit like that happen. That did escalate quickly, and the injury resulted in traumatic brain injury, partial paralysis, and heart complications requiring a pacemaker. He loves the outdoors, and he loves fishing. Lou is one of my great friends and is one of the people I love and respect the most in this life. He has been a great mentor and friend to me. Lou is the founder of Veterans Charity and is one of the most giving person I have ever met. His charity, North Texas Patriot Anglers, was founded by him and his wife, Nicole, who is also a veteran of 25 years in the U.S. Air Force. North Texas Patriot Anglers is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the physical and emotional rehabilitation of wounded military veterans and first responders through fishing. There is a lot more that I am forgetting right now, but both Lou and Nicole are amazing people who more than deserve the recognition for their work. Actually, let me look that up real quick. North Texas Patriot Anglers. And I will post their link. Yeah, he's still kicking ass in the world. Good for him. All right, so I pinned it just so if you guys wanted to check it out. But it does, that shit does happen. Like, I know I talk pretty positively about my time in the Navy. I don't feel necessarily comfortable speaking about some of the things that I deal with after my service. That's just a personal preference, personal choice. I will tell you, I do have the spicy nostalgia, and I make jokes about it. And if you have a problem with that, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. But you know, that is something that, like, you have to recognize. And something that Mo actually did a fantastic job on her Morning Coffee with Mo. She had a fellow streamer who's a disabled veteran who he speaks very openly about his time and, you know, the disabilities that he deals with. which I very much appreciated. So, she doesn't have PTSD, she has nostalgia. That's my fun way of saying I have PTSD. There is something, I'll be quite frank. There's something scary when you first get confronted with those 4 letters. It was something that I didn't necessarily want to believe when I was first diagnosed. I'll be honest about that. I try to gaslight the shit out of myself, thinking like every which way that I don't have it, that I don't deal with that. It couldn't be me. There's people who have dealt with way worse. Every fucking which way I could to try to gaslight myself and invalidate myself. And that's not necessarily, a fucking good thing. It's not something I necessarily talk about on the regular because, I do want to highlight the good and the good that comes out of being in the military. And for all intents and purposes, I had a lot of fun, and like I said, I wish it had gone differently, but that's not, it's not necessarily up to me. You know what I mean? But the veteran she interviewed, oh shit, she didn't post the VOD. Let me go back. Because I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. Oh my god, I'm horrible. Holy shit, I feel like a fucking asshole. HB, Honor Bound Hussar. So if you guys were in that live that she did asking him questions, he is very, very open about his journey with the VA and disability and living with that. But he's very cool. Very cool. That was actually my first introduction to him, and I am so glad that she had him on to kind of talk about that. She did a fucking phenomenal job covering that topic, because it is that shit's not an easy topic to talk about, you know what I mean? So alrighty, so let's get back on the horse here. We have Sergeant Eugene W. He was Army, 11 Bang Bang infantry. He served 14 years. So this person says, one of my father's funniest stories was his first NTC in 1986, when he was assigned to carry around the Prick 77, that's a radio, for his platoon. Freezing cold in California in the dead of winter, the batteries for the thing, despite being charged, I already know where this is going, would die instantly, and the radio would never work. Tale as old as time. Holy shit. The 113s, the PRC 113s have the same fucking issue with the battery pack underneath. If the batteries are too fucking cold, you can kiss your comms goodbye. Messages would not be sent or received despite the equipment being operated properly. He eventually lost his crap and threw the radio down and began cursing at the radio, yelling I was a piece of shit, and had a fit about it. That was just after they had returned to base camp after a patrol and were scheduled to warm the batteries up for transmissions back to the field post. The funniest thing about this story is that the radio started working after he threw it on the ground and kicked it half a dozen times. Percussive maintenance. Oh god. In his latter term, he served the last 4 years after he served from 1985 to 1995, was at the multinational force and observers. He told many stories about the good men he served with, as well as the dogs that lived on the post with him. So fucking real. I relate to that a little too hard, I fear. If you want to nominate your mom, I'm doing this all month. So we're doing this once. I do one Yap stream a week. So you can absolutely submit her for next week. I just don't want to run out of time, because we do have quite a few, and I do want to get to the person who submitted earlier. I might jump to that one real quick. He loves to work on his truck, an old Ford pickup, and loves his dog. Favorite MRE is Chili Mac, based as fuck. Chili Mac is really good. And he was really sad to see an old, good old M16 Alpha 2 leave and have to shoot with a CCO and an M4 when requalifying on rifles. Damn. My father served 2 divided terms of service. He enlisted again when he was an old man. He had to get a waiver and everything to sign back up to the National Guard. Not even age could stop him from going back to protect the people he cared about as well as the country he cared about. And that's why they nominated him. Oh, that's sweet too. All right, I'm gonna let's jump to Senior Chief Susan G. She served in the Navy as a Seabee and a part-time dive instructor. Damn, what a fucking badass already. Like, SAR? Oh my god, fuck yeah. She served from 1973 to 1999. Served on the USS Dixon AS-37 for most of her career and served in the Gulf War. One of the stories she loves to tell during her time in country was building a bridge during Operation Desert Storm, and they came back heavy enemy motor and small arms attack, and instead of returning fire, she just kept pushing dirt with the dozer. It was only after her blade on the dozer got destroyed by an RPG that she began to return fire. Holy crap. So she's like, yeah, fuck it. We still building, bro. Like, I love that. What a badass. She's an amazing cook, and both her and my grandpa served together. She always stood up for all of us grandkids and always told us, don't start it, but always finish it. She inspired me to join the U.S. Navy and instilled a lot of great values of me. What a fucking badass, bro. That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I fucking love that. Holy shit. She said, we're building here. You guys can fuck right off. Oh boy. Your radio not working isn't service-related damage. Are you talking about service-related disability? Service-connected? Le fuck? And no, that's actually not why I have PTSD. My radio not working is not. Although I guess that is a story I could tell another time about my percussive maintenance on a 113. I was making a joke about radio and story. Okay. I was like, that is not why I have the spiciness down. I wish. Oh god. I think that was supposed to be a joke. Yeah, I listen, I always give people a chance to clarify. The reason why I'm so defensive is, listen, I have dealt with everything under the fucking sun. There's, not a lot you can tell me that will piss me off. The one thing, though, is I don't appreciate people undermining, veterans with mental health, because somebody else is going to look at that comment and think that that is another reason why they shouldn't go get help. You know what I mean? There's so many veterans who will talk themselves out of going to the VA and getting help, or talking to somebody because they think they don't deserve it. A bitch is one of them. Okay, it took me a year after I got out to actually get help. So that is why I get so defensive, is because I don't want somebody else to stumble upon it and be like, oh, that's another reason why I shouldn't go. You know what I mean? The most I could do is nominate my dad because my mom had SCI, worked in a vault. Might have to see what I can do. She trained SEALs in diving mainly when she was... Oh, okay. That's fucking sick. That is definitely sick, dude. Damn. Alright, the next person that was submitted was First Sergeant Carl M.H. Carl M.H. Carl was in the Marines in 0811 Artillery. And he served from 1945 to 1983. This person says, assigned to the 2nd United States Marine Corps Division. He was a part of the cleanup effort after the Battle of Okinawa. He served in many roles, his first being in the artillery. He trained recruits on rifles and trained and qualified on heavy earth-moving equipment. He did it all practically. There are plenty of funny stories that I won't type out here because it would take forever. Fair, but if you, to whoever submitted him, if you ever feel like submitting stories, feel free. I've got this open all month. His favorite foods are navy beans and cornbread. He owned a drainage pipe company. It's still around. He was a farmer, and the farm is still within the family. He's my grandfather, my idol. I love him dearly despite never having known him that well. He was a big part of my life, and I miss him. Damn. Thank you for sharing. And again, if you wanted to add anything, you can actually fucking feel free. All right, then we got First Sergeant Dennis K. He's in the Army. Dennis was an 11 Bravo, then a 13 Delta, and 18 series, not sure which. 11 Bravo's infantry. What is 13 Delta? Field artillery. Automated data specialist. Oh, he was a nerd. Okay, we like that. And what is the 18 series for the Army? MOS. Special Forces. Okay. Very cool. Served from 1967 to 91. Served 4 tours over Vietnam. 2 in the SF, 1 as infantry, and 1 as an engineer. Several rounds as a drill sergeant. Very cool. Very cool. He spent a lot of time outside of school looking in on his cadets, and if they had a problem, he would try to help. This man was a key pillar of my formative years. I had done poorly for my first 2 years of high school, and the consequences got sent to a former continuation school that was given one last chance as a conversion to a military school. The man commanded respect from the first moment we met him. He was an imposing 6'1" barrel-chested drill sergeant, brown round, perfectly pressed BDUs, boots polished to a high shine. For the first 2 years, he instilled discipline, sense of pride, and self-worth, made us ready for adulthood, even if we didn't choose the military. A good number of us did anyway. Pound for pound, we became the most fit, educated high schoolers in town. Kids like me were able to turn our poor grades around and unmade the circumstances that sent us there in the first place. I know for a fact that every one of us who enlisted were made better soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen for having known him and taking up his teachings and example to heart. He taught me how to be an NCO, which helped in an environment with an ever-widening disparity of fairness by the UCMJ. Preach. These days, he is retired, riding horses every day, somewhere back east. I hope one day I will be able to say I lived up to his example and expectations. And he used to say, "I'm not perfect. My ankles still get wet when I walk on water." I love that. That is a good ass fucking quote. Shit, bro. I might steal that. Well, thank you for sharing about First Sergeant Dennis K. All right, and then the last one we have for this week is Lieutenant General Adrian W. He was in the UK Army Infantry over 42 years. 42 years, and this person gave a fuck ton of campaigns that spanned the First World War and Second World War. So we have Somaliland campaign, Battle of the Somme, Soviet War, Ukrainian War, Lithuanian War. I guess they were in the Polish as well. Invasion of Poland, Norwegian campaign, Second Sino-Japanese War. Oh my God. And I said, tell me more about them outside their service. And he said, quite frankly, he enjoyed the war. I mean, to be fair, 42 years, I guess you kind of have to enjoy it. He's often referred to as the unlikable soldier admired for his extraordinary bravery and resilience during 3 major conflicts. The Boer War, the World War I and World War II. He earned the Victoria Cross for his actions in the First World War and continued to serve despite numerous injuries, including losing an eye and a hand. Holy fuck. This sounds like maybe not somebody's family member, but somebody they learned about, which is okay. I kind of just want to... Oh, yeah, there he is. There he is. Let me drop him. Drop his name. Carton God. That's too French for me. That's too French for my American ass. I'm gonna... or the name looks French at least. I don't think that's French. I just needed an excuse to... He's Belgian. I know, I just needed an excuse to get a jab in on the French. Oh god. But yeah, okay. Very cool. They French. I did it to my friend the other day. I was like, man, that sounds too French for my American ass. Fucking got all pissed off. Oh, fucking wee motherfucker. I have to do it. It's just a thing. It's just that they get on my ass for being American. So you know what? I get to say some shit about where they originate from. Any British friends, I like to send them specifically a Snapchat of me. So I have a kettle, right? I have an electric kettle. They hate it. They hate it when I microwave water. So I make it a point to send them at least once a week a video of me putting a cup in the microwave. Yeah. It's very triggering to them. It's just, it's just a little, just a little reminder. Just a little reminder that, because why would I do that? Because their biggest thing with me is, or with Americans in general, is they don't like, or they think it's weird that Americans microwave water, which I kind of get, but also, like, I don't know, growing up in an American home, we didn't have a kettle. We didn't have hella appliances. So, my mom used to microwave water. Like, I don't know, when she made her tea. Like, and the great, you know what, Mama Eve, she's from Germany, okay? She's fresh off the boat from Germany. So, if she's microwaving water, I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. But, nonetheless, my British friends are very upset, very, very, very upset that, Americans have a tendency to microwave water to heat it up. So I make it a point to send them a video at least once a week of me doing that. And the kettle sits on top of the microwave, which is the best part, because in the shot of me putting the mug in the microwave, you also get a shot of the kettle that is not being used for its intended purpose. So, yeah. Yep. I like to do that. Speaking of moms and Mama Eve, for all of you who forgot, in America, it's Mother's Day on Sunday. Yeah, that's right. Panic. Some of y'all with moms, you need to go out there, get a fucking card. Get a card, at the very least. T-minus few hours to get 2-day delivery on Amazon Prime. Just saying. But if you haven't already, fucking go do that shit. If I have to be the first one to remind you, the only one to remind you, get something for your fucking mother, I will be. I will haunt your fucking dreams. I'll remind you on Father's Day too, next month, that you need to get something for your father. But yeah, if that applies to you. But yeah, if that applies to you, you need to get your ass to the store and at least get her a fucking card. That's okay. At least get her a card. If you have a mom in your life, card, as simple as possible. Or go to Trader Joe's, as I like to call it, or Target. They have cheap flowers. Okay, don't give it to her in that cellophane wrap now. Okay, this is. I'm gonna give you my advice. All right, you take it out the cellophane wrap. All right, and you like take a paper bag, you cut that bitch, and then you like fold it over so that it like creates that kind of like, I don't know, como city say that like cover on flowers. I don't know what the fuck that's called. You know, it looks better. It looks better. It's a paper bag versus the cellophane that like has the print all over it from the store or the price tag. You know, prepare that shit at least a little bit. You know what I mean? But yeah, y'all better do that shit. You've got until Sunday. I sent Mama Eve some flowers, actually. You know, not sponsored. I went to 1-800-Flowers and I picked out a nice little bouquet. And I picked out a nice little card because, you know, it's kind of hard being across the ocean to be able to, you know, get her something. So I just had to send it to her. I also sent her some stuff via Amazon Prime. That is the best way for me to send gifts, unfortunately, because they like wrap it. So if anybody knows of any other online stores that also do gift wrapping and stuff like that, would appreciate that. But not sponsored. Anyway, we did get through all of our submissions. That was very cool to learn about everybody and their family members. Hopefully we get some more submissions. I will definitely like keep reminding people on the old X about you know, sending in submissions. I will probably do this again. Well, I think we'll continue to do this Friday, or maybe we'll do it Sunday, or not Sunday, Saturday. That is also an option, so that, you know, people can join again and hear more people can join. Hopefully, I don't really know. I don't know. We're making good time. We are making good time. I'm actually surprised. I thought for sure like I was gonna go on a fucking. Some of y'all were reminding me of some sea stories. I was like, man, I gotta rein it in, bro, because I've gotta read all these. Oh boy. But I'm definitely excited for Nini debut. I thought you were talking about submissions. Your Wizard 101 T-Rex mount and Fighter Jet Rex mutation. Yo, yeah, Garrett. Good old Garrett. No, I was talking about submissions for the project. Not really project, but us reading out people's family members or people, veterans that have made a difference in their life. But also Garrett. but also Garrett. Oh gosh. I don't really know how that would work. The Fighter Jet Rex mutation. I'm still having a really hard time you know, thinking about that. I mean, listen. Here's what we're gonna do. We gotta create a concept. Okay, all right. So give me 1 second. We're gonna go back to the reaction screen so I can you know, I can display my paint, my MS Paint. So 1 second. Okay. Holy shit. All the way over here again. Jesus. Alrighty. I'm gonna pull MS Paint up for the last few minutes of the stream so that we can get a concept down. Okay? I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we should really get a concept down. Let me just make sure I can I didn't set this up beforehand or anything, so you're gonna have to same executable, yeah, sure. You're gonna have to bear with me through this. Why can't we? Dude, why can't I capture my paint window? Oh, it's gotta make this so hard for me. How annoying. How annoying. Hold on, if we go to our gaming section, right? And no, it won't let me capture. It won't let me capture my... Oh, it has to be captured as a game? No way. No, it doesn't, because it's not even coming up. Why is it coming up as a game? Like a game capture. But then it's also not showing it, so it doesn't really fucking help me at all. It literally does nothing for me. Oh. I want us to draw out the concept of Garrett, and wow. Trash. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna have to go back to our Yap screen. Damn, that sucks. That actually sucks, dude. I really wanted us to be able to do this. Maybe, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand why we can't. Because it should just be capturing a window. Yes, I tried to capture a window. It didn't come up, like the application wouldn't come up. And then I could like capture it as a game, but it wouldn't pop up. So it wouldn't even register. So that was fun. That was great. OBS on my shit list this week, as you can tell. As you can tell. Can I ask if the stomach piercing is inspired by Bremerton from Azraeli? No, it's just because it's fucking cool. It's not, not inspired by AL. I just like it. It doesn't matter like what screen I capture it on. That's the thing, is like it has to be a window that's captured. And yeah. It just doesn't like me. I think I've deduced for at least this week that OBS just really doesn't like me, man. You know, it just it's killing me, Smalls. See, Admiral calling me? I think. Oh, hold on. Let me turn off my. Hello, you're on stream. You're on stream. Is that all you had to say was chicken jockey? Yeah. Hold on. I muted my desktop.
I don't think they can hear me.
Well, they can hear you now because I had my desktop muted.
Now. Okay, good. Chicken jockey.
Oh my god.
So happened. So what's the issue? What's the tech issue? On
I
your
was-
live chicken jockey tech support.
I just wanted to draw up an art concept for Garrett, my dinosaur, and OBS won't capture paint.
Garrett, your dinosaur. What is that? Like
Yes.
Trogdor the Burninator? Is that
No,
like Trogdor?
my dinosaur in Wizard 101.
Oh yeah.
The stack up dinosaur. They have decided, we have all decided collectively that his name is Garrett. And so yeah, he has a bit of a cult now.
The cult of Garrett.
Yeah. So we have a second VFleet cult for a dinosaur.
Okay, fair enough. Wait, second VFleet cult. What's the first one?
Should I mention it?
What is the first one? Wait. Does it have anything to do with taking a certain letter out of a
Yes.
out of a logo?
Yes.
No, we're not talking about that. Listen, you're supposed to be somewhat not say so because you swear like a sailor, literally are a sailor, but you are supposed to be sensible, okay? The real
Listen.
degeneracy happened last night. That's what happened. You weren't there.
I haven't
was
even
there.
seen the VOD yet because I
will send you the VOD. Wait, what is this? Mo feet? What is this emo? You know, this is why we gave you boots. This is why we gave you boots, because we're just not giving you everything. The VOD lives. What do you mean the VOD lives? Where is the VOD?
People are like, immediately needs to go to the VOD. It's okay. Yesterday, my chat was down bad for a Minecraft tree, so I mean...
What?
Literally, not even like, what, Remy, you could vouch for this, not even 3 minutes into Minecraft, people were already talking about how tall and beautiful the tree jungles, or the jungle's trees are. Remy goes, they were.
It's between yesterday and today. You know, I'm just hoping that, you know, sweet Nini is not going to be as degenerate as most of you.
I think you already know the answer to that question.
Unfortunately, I do know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
They're not ready for what she's got to throw at them. It's
No.
like a curveball.
Remy goes,
curveball.
Have you seen what she puts on Twitter? You guys only get a taste on Twitter. She's the one corrupting
listen, man.
us.
I learned from Dr. Eggman, don't go look on twitter.com.
Well,
of course, you guys don't know I'm always lurking on Twitter. I have 70 alternative accounts. You'll never find my main.
Burner accounts.
You fool. I have 70 alternative accounts. You'll never find my main.
Oh God. I think
don't.
I mean, your main,
Don't
as
watch
far as
that.
everyone is concerned, is the VFleet account.
You know, I think that can that fairly be, you know, as many times as I'm replying to talent saying no and cease and other sort of snarky type of
I
things.
see you.
Yeah,
I see you
think at this
lurking.
point, it's pretty much the main.
See you lurking on other people's comments as well.
Listen, man, I'm just the funny man that retweets everything and just gives you guys art to post. Which, speaking of which, Eve's got a certain artwork that's gonna make everyone lose their ever love.
Fuck yeah! I'm so excited for that. It'll be next
week. We're getting
though.
canceled on Twitter next
No.
week.
God. I don't. No, it's not canceled. It could break the internet though. I don't know.
I mean, it definitely will probably break the internet, or you're gonna have a lot of people saying, "Please break me" in your comment section. And
Fuck
we
yeah.
can't really filter that one.
I
Hey, at
mean,
least I'm gonna let you know this right now. You're forbidden from doing it. Hear me out, Cake. We're not doing it anymore.
Why not?
I quit. We're done.
Is it up there
not
with
happening.
Power Wash Simulator? Like we're not allowed to do.
You know, I went back and I watched the VOD for Power Wash Simulator because, you know, me and the staff, we were like, okay, let's play the comparison game here. And we looked at it and we were like, you know what? It wasn't bad until Ami mentioned something about a whale. And then I was like, okay, you know what? We're done. I quit. It's Jover. Jover.
I mean, I don't know. Mo and I, we were scheming a little bit. Could there be a Power Wash Simulator redeem?
You will not do that. You will not do Power Wash. You will not do a Power Wash Simulator. I am Mojo Jojo. not do that.
Remy goes, we had to.
Oh, I am evil genius.
We had to nuke all 3 VODs. That's actually
We have to nuke them
wild.
all. I am an evil genius, but I am not that evil as they are.
Oh gosh. Oh man.
Listen, man. Listen. I'm legitimately telling you this right now. Legitimately telling you this right now. Josie lost the bet to me because she lost in Team Sonic Racing like
Again?
5 different times. No, not again.
Oh,
it was like
okay.
5 times. It was that one stream. It was like all in one stream. And and so she lost. And then I said, "Oh, okay. If you want to double down, if you want to bet," because she was like, "Oh, let's go again. Let's go again." I'm like, "Okay, you want to make a bet?" And I said, like, "Oh, I forgot something about like merch. I don't know what the wager was on my end. The point is, I was very confident that I could beat her. So I was like, okay, you want to double down? And she's like, I'll double down. Then you want to triple down? Once we got to like quadruple down, I was like, okay, if you lose this, you have to do a hear me out cake with Mo and Ami, because I saw the thing hear me out cake with Mo and Kat, and Kat say so. So I was like, you know what? Okay, this is fine. I didn't know how bad Mo could get. So
What are you talking about?
happened
You didn't
was-
know.
listen, madam, I live my life off of the internet. I don't know what you guys think. You think I'm just the funny man that posts memes all the time?
No, but some shit.
I do that on my alt account. I do that on my main. I do it on my alt, not my main. But what I'm saying is that things were fine until, for some gosh dang reason, Mo has my PNG, and I was just like, I'm nuking this right now. And then I'm just like, mother fire truck.
Which one was it?
It was the
Oh, God.
humanoid one. It was the base one that
Oh,
all these
okay.
little meme arts of me is based on.
Nice.
Yeah, no.
Somebody asked,
No.
what is your hear me out? Just
All
one.
right, hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, ready? Hear me out. Chicken jockey.
No.
I'm just trying to make your
The
chat go erupt.
the
Go
people
destroy a movie
the
theater.
people want to hear me out.
Yeah, fine. Okay, I said hear me out there. So what's your hear me out?
Oh God. Ooh, what's a fucking good one that also isn't gonna get me in trouble?
Chief
shit.
Petty off.
Ew. Ugh. No. No. Fuck no.
No, you're not your chief.
Someone
Hell
said.
no.
Oh no. No, I had a really good one.
Is
I
it
can't.
the chief that's been at Chow Hall way too often?
No. Ew. No.
Been in the
Oh my God.
Been in the CPO too long.
The one that I can
sorry.
think of for that is like literally Jabba the Hutt, and I
Oh dear God.
he reminds me of Jabba. The
Wait.
Hutt.
That's your. Oh God. That's your.
No, that's
that's
not my
Jabba
hear
the
me
Hutt
out.
one.
That's absolutely
Eve.
not my hear me out.
Eve.
No.
Eve, oh.
No, what I'm
Oh,
saying
oh,
is
oh,
like
oh,
we
oh,
did
oh,
have a
oh.
chief like that.
You had a chief that looked like Jabba the Hutt. Was he like,
He fucking reminded me of Hear Me Out.
Muta choto solo.
I don't know. He was just I don't know.
You had a chief that looked like Jabba the Hutt. I'm only imagining
He was
Jabba
just
the Hutt in dress blues.
he was very fucking large. And he was super creepy too. Like he just creep on everyone.
PFT? How do you pass the PFT?
He
I
would
thought
just
you
get
could test your
waived. Like he
PFT.
would go to medical and he'd be like, "Oh, my fucking my ankle hurts." And then they'd be like, "Okay, I guess you can't run." And then he would
Let me
get
get it
waived.
straight. Trained to run a mile and a half in like 8 minutes, and and you're puking your guts up, and then you got somebody who gets waived. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
there was also
Ain't that a bitch.
the other thing is like I only had one PRT my entire 4 years because I was deployed. So you would get waived for being deployed because I couldn't run a proper PRT on deployment because we were just doing hella flight ops and everything. Oh, I got my hear me out. Wilt from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
What? What? You're very Forrest Whitaker coded because you like the droopy eye. You're very Forrest Whitaker coded, aren't you?
I don't know. That's my hear me out. That won't get me in trouble.
Why? Oh my god. Why him?
Okay, that's fair, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
At least it's not cheese from Foster's Home for Measuring Friends. The minute that motherfucker is on anybody's hear me out, I'm like, I've got questions. Like,
I'm a lady. Now we're brother ladies.
Brother ladies. Oh my gosh. Yes, he was the tall red basketball dude. Yep. Yeah.
Why? Just why Will? Just why Will?
I don't know.
Just.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
I'm getting traumatized. I'm recalling last night. Ugh.
Oh god.
They put
I can't
Sonic,
wait.
Shadow, and Knuckles on there, and I was just like, "Are you serious right now?"
You weren't expecting? Come on.
Well, okay.
Come
listen,
on.
I knew Josie was gonna put Shadow, but I did not expect Ami's reply of Sonic the Hedgehog. You know what? I should. Ami, we love you, but I'm just saying right now, as long as I've known you, man, like she used to be worse. She used to be worse back in the early days. In the early days, she used to be a lot worse. She's toned down. She's toned down in her VTuber age.
She's oh god.
She's more say so than she was. Trust me.
Oh gosh. Hey.
No. Trust me.
I trust you. I trust you.
Unlike you and Lucy. Anyways, good night, everyone.
Good night. All right, guys. Well, we are going to wrap this up because yes, we are at our 2-hour reminder. Let me just disconnect here real quick. Yep, there we go. Again, reminder: Nini debut, 6 p.m. PST. It's 6 p.m. right? It's not 7. Fuck. Shit. Is it 6? I believe it's 6. But yes, it is Nini Day, so be there or be square. It's 8 p.m. 8 p.m. CST. Okay. I was gonna say yo, no, no. So just a power nap to catch. Yes. So be there or be square for the skunk mama, and we will wrap this up as we normally do with our Liberty Brief. So Liberty Call. This is your reminder for this weekend. Don't make a life, don't take a life, don't add or subtract to the population. Ooh, God, I'm gonna get me some water after this. Don't add or subtract to the population. If you're driving, don't drink, and if you're drinking, don't drive. And if you find yourself in jail, establish dominance as quickly as possible. And our newest one this week has been check on a buddy. Check on somebody you love. Check on a friend. See how they're doing. Make sure they're doing okay. We are going to have to find a new friend of the fleet because I don't see anybody who is streaming that I know. So let's find someone. Remy, if you have suggestions, that would be sweet. No, we are not doing Zulu time. We're not doing Zulu. Oh my god, dude. Just like choking. We're not doing Zulu time. I can't wait for you to meet her either. Let's see. Who do we have? Let's see. Shit. I'm sorry, I'm taking forever. I take this very, very seriously because I don't want to, I want to send you guys to somebody who is a good person. That is my main thing. This person looks like a good person. Miracle Moo. They are watching Gordon Ramsay. So fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I will see you guys later. Bye.
Moonrise, sing my time.